Hello, welcome back. I'm Joe.
And TJ.
And we are the Schoolhouse 302, and this is our hashtag Read This series where we feature great books on specific topics. This month, we're all about service-based leadership. We draw a clear distinction between servant leadership and service-based leadership. In fact, the whole notion of service-based leadership is something that we started studying and looking into. In the very beginning, it's something we thought we may have actually coined until we started doing a little research and realized, you know what you don't know is sometimes what you just don't know yet. And we learned a ton from the United States Armed Forces, the military, what they have to offer, and all about service first. So this month's reads are incredible. TJ, why don't you introduce our first book?
Sure. Our first book is called Spark, How to Lead Yourself and Others to Greater Success. Angie Morgan, Courtney Lynch, and Sean Lynch. Fantastic read. Really, it's about igniting the spark in your organization by putting others first, serving others to serve the organization. When you have a service mentality, doing things for people that they otherwise might not be able to do for themselves, that really will be the spark. Check it out. Don't miss it. Joe, what's our second book?
That's a great point about winning with your teams, being that spark. But I got to be honest with you, TJ. There are times, there's no doubt, I get wrapped up in my own head, my own goals, things I need to achieve. And even when I'm thinking I'm serving, I find myself serving myself. I find myself totally really about Joe. And not proud of it, but it's something that happens. We're busy, you kind of get overwhelmed, and where you think you're serving, even in the name of service, you find yourself being a little selfish and a little bit down about, you know what, I'm not doing what I need to do to ignite and be that spark.
I think that's natural, Joe. I think that's okay. It's one reason why we read. It's why we recommend books to our listeners, to remind ourselves that a winning mentality is not about me, it's about we. Service is really about winning with your team. The only way that you can move forward is if you move others forward. By the way, what do you have in your hand?
You know what? That's a great point. This book helps remind me of just that. It's called The Psychology of Winning. It's about creating a winning mindset, but not in a sense where you're going to trample on others to get there, or even when you forget about others to get there. This is about creating the right mindset, understanding how confrontation and really anything that's adversarial in your own life carves character. And this book has a great story really about the Great Barrier Reef, how people think the calm lagoon side is where things would grow, when things are easy. And in fact, it's just the opposite. The side facing the ocean that's constantly bombarded by waves through adversity, that's where the whole marine life thrives. And this book really hones in on that. And if you're going to be someone who serves and serves others, you have to have that right mindset, which really leads us into the Mac Daddy of mindset books.
It's true. Our third book, what we consider to be the Mac Daddy of mindset books of all psychology, Logotherapy, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. This really is about keeping your perception in check so that you can serve others. We all encounter conflict on a regular basis, and this is about making sure that our perception is taking into account others' perception and what really is the natural state of man's being, and thinking about your environment in a way that pushes you forward and puts other people first. So check it out, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. We call it the Mac Daddy. We also like to include a tip in our hashtag Read This series. Somebody just recently said, hey, you guys read a ton, but how can you afford to buy so many books? We really do like paper copies of our books, and we do order a lot. But guess what? This book here is from what's called thrift books. It's a used book. I bought it for $1. You can get them in the mail. Use Amazon. Amazon sells used books. We go to used bookstores. We trade books. But you can get books for cheap, and that's a really important tip if you want to read a lot.
Thank you very much, TJ. That concludes our hashtag Read This series for this month. Service-based leadership. Remember, service first. Please follow our blog. We just reached over 5,000 followers, something we're incredibly excited about. Follow our blog. Remember, we have podcasts where we feature a great leader every month. You're not going to be disappointed this month. Thank you for tuning in.